Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Sophie Erber.
And I'm Tim Seaman. Parts of Siouxland are regrouping tonight after being hit with the first severe weather of the season.
A confirmed tornado touched down shortly before 5 this evening near Hartington, Nebraska. And we have a look at what happened in our top story at 6. This is cell phone video taken at the Hartington Golf Club, where a high school golf event was underway. The tornado touched down in a dirt field just off the course property.
Now, that course is located on the northwest edge of Hartington. We're told that some trees were downed and parts of the course were covered in old corn stalks that were picked up and deposited. Others gathered inside the course clubhouse as the twister was spinning.
But it's the real deal, boys.
Oh my, it's tearing up the...
Yeah, there went the tree.
Oh, tree.
Again, this confirmed tornado tracked in open rural areas. No injuries have been reported, and damage does appear to be limited. We have a crew in Hartington, Nebraska tonight. You can watch for more on KCAU 9 News at 10, as well as online at SiouxlandProud.com.
That's right. And now with the latest on this system that has since moved east, we go to Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson. Scott?
Yeah, we've been tracking these thunderstorms throughout the afternoon, Tim and Sophie, and we have some other picturesque photos to share with you now. One comes to us from Diane Pick. This was also in Cedar County associated with those strong thunderstorms. You can see that we do have a tornado that was reaching the ground. That's always associated with that spinning dust that you find. And Karma Schulte also took this photo of another picturesque tornado there against the blue skies in the background from the Hartington Municipal Airport. As we look at some of the storm reports right now, you can see in parts of Madison County, we also had some large hailstones, some of those as large as 2 inches in diameter. So that's about the size of an egg. You can also see that we did have that tornado warning again in Cedar County. The emergency manager in Cedar County says as many as 3 different tornadoes may have actually touched down, but still a little bit early in the evaluation process to determine just what exactly occurred there. Looking at the radar picture now, you can see that things are still pretty intense in regards to the rain and thunderstorms, especially just south of Sioux City, that being the residual thunderstorms associated with the activity there. We do have some raindrops on the lens of the Port Neal Welding Company camera at the KCAU 9 studio as we continue to track that strong storm just to our south near Sergeant Bluff. We'll have more information on some quieter weather coming over the next couple days, all in the 9 on 9 forecast. Tim and Sophie.
All right, thanks a lot, Scott.
Well, Iowa lawmakers hit the 110th day of the legislative session on Friday without finishing. That means they're still working, but no longer on the taxpayer's dollar.
Our Iowa Capitol Bureau reporter Monica Madden spoke to Democrats and Republican leaders about the issues holding up the legislature.
It's disappointing they can't come to a solution. It's frustrating to wait.
There's still a lot of things to be negotiated here at the end.
A trifecta of Republican leadership doesn't guarantee lawmakers always see eye to eye.
You know, we have different beliefs and different priorities in a lot of different areas. And so now it's just trying to consolidate those ideas.
Those ideas largely involve how to cut taxes, something that must be decided before lawmakers can complete the one thing they must do, the state budget.
Right now, Senate Republicans really believe that we should be reducing taxes to continue to grow our economy.
The Senate has passed several bills this session to speed up income tax cuts, proposals the House has yet to take up and the governor is hoping they can agree on. The final step to ending the session is the nearly $8 billion budget, another area of Republican disagreement.
Currently, we have different budgets in each chamber that are pretty far apart.
Some of the biggest differences between the chambers are funding for the Department of Corrections and Board of Regents. The House has proposed a roughly $21 million increase to DOC, whereas the Senate is proposing a $6.3 million increase. For Iowa's 3 public universities, Senate Republicans are suggesting an $8.2 million increase for the Board of Regents, but House Republicans want no additional funding and want each school to freeze tuition. Democrats are mostly cut out of the negotiations. Confer says Democrats are instead looking for surprises, legislation that didn't make it through committee, but was added as an amendment to the budget.
Monica Madden, KCAU 9 News.
Roughly 300,000 Iowans have been moved into an inactive voter list. Under a new law, Iowans who were registered to vote for the most recent election but did not cast a ballot were moved to that inactive status. Now, previously, voters had to miss 2 general elections for this to happen. Officials say the law comes after many suspected fraud in the previous election and that this is an effort to clean up voter rolls and outdated information that might create opportunity for more fraud.
They're not going to know any difference that they are inactive or active when they go to the polling place. As soon as you go to a polling place or you vote early, you're going to be made active. Or if they returned one of those inactive notices to us, they're going to be made active.
Gill says still Election Day registration is allowed, meaning voters can show up to their voting poll location, cast a ballot and register all at the same place and at the same time.
A Siouxland man who was once part of former President Donald Trump's campaign team is suing a Sioux City hospital for alleged medical malpractice. Sam Clovis is also a former GOP candidate for U.S. Senate, as well as a former professor at Morningside College. He's claiming that negligence by the local health care facilities left him wheelchair-bound and in need of round-the-clock care. Clovis is suing Unity Point Health St. Luke's, Regency Square Center, and Family Health Care of Siouxland. According to the lawsuit, the facilities were responsible for his medical care in 2019 and did not detect an abscess on his spinal cord, which resulted in permanent damage. He's suing for an undisclosed amount of damages. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds today defended her decision to return millions of dollars in federal aid targeted for COVID testing in Iowa schools. The governor first mentioned her plans last week during a governor's forum in Florida while meeting with reporters. Today, Reynolds said that Iowa school districts have not asked for help paying for COVID testing. Iowa is set to return $95 million in federal testing aid.
We can't continue to just take this money. There is a cost to taxpayers, and the amount of money that is flowing into these states because of the bad decision that some of the other states have made is unconscionable. And, you know, so at some point you've got to just say enough is enough. And we have the
governor says that the state is now ready to roll out a new vaccination ad campaign for TV, radio, as well as online. It will be in both English and Spanish.
As we move towards even warmer temperatures, motorcyclists are taking off their bike covers and hitting the roads in honor of Motorcycle Awareness Month, which is May. Many Siouxland motorcyclists are making it their mission now to provide resources to help protect everyone who is out on the roads. A lieutenant with the Iowa State Patrol says that there were more motorcycle-involved accidents last year than there are usually.
It really kind of varies from year to year. Last year was a bad year. 2020. There were over 1,000 motorcycle-involved accidents, and 63 of those were fatalities. And so far this year to date, we have 131 total motorcycle accidents, with 5 of those being fatalities.
Coming up tonight at 10, KCAU 9's Lydia Vasquez explains how one organization is working to spread awareness on motorcycle safety. And spring and summer mean one thing for anglers. It's time to go fishing.
That's right. Get the big one. How Iowa officials are getting ready for this year's fishing season coming up in just a bit.
And we've been dealing with some severe weather in Siouxland this evening. At this moment, things have fallen apart a bit, but we still have some heavy downpours, as you can see, extending from Dakota County in Nebraska into rural Woodbury County in western Iowa. We'll have more information on how the rain is looking for tonight and what lies ahead for the weekend in the 9 on 9 forecast.
You're watching KCAU 9 News with Tim Seaman, Sophie Erber, Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson, and Sports Director Jake Jones. This is KCAU 9 News at 6.
Thanks for sticking with us as we follow this severe weather, which fortunately is slowly moving on and dissipating some. But we are getting some pictures of actual tornadoes.
Indeed, Scott. Any idea at this point on the is it the Fujita scale?
The Fujita scale, yeah.
Where would this fall in there? Is there any idea?
I would say likely an EF0 or EF1 based on the kind of video that we've seen, the damage reports. There were reports again at the Hardington Golf Course of some trees that were knocked down and things of that nature. So based on what we've seen so far, I would estimate that these were lower on the scale in regards to the tornadoes. But of course, a tornado is always a big deal when you have it coming for you. Looking at the radar at this point, you can see that we do have an extension of some showers and thunderstorms. This is the leftovers from those strong thunderstorms that occurred earlier this this afternoon in northeast Nebraska. As we zoom in closer, you can see that we have a region on Wednesday, warming things back up as we get into next weekend. I want to show off this picture again from Karma Schulte. This was at the Hartington Municipal Airport, and you can see some of those bands inside of the tornado that were spinning up that dirt. Again, a very kind of beautiful scene, actually, with the contrast of the clear skies in the background. So thanks to Karma for really capturing that great shot in Cedar County of one of those tornadoes that touched down. If you have a picture that you want to share with us, if you have damage reports from the tornadoes, go to our website, SiouxlandProud.com, and make sure to submit those. Tim and Sophie?
Yeah, that is a very picturesque shot for a tornado.
Kind of different. Usually it's dark and ugly, a wall cloud or something like that, so that was a bit different.
Yeah.
Thanks, Scott. Well, after a record-breaking 2020 for fishing permits, the Iowa DNR is hoping for another big summer fishing season.
That's right, how Iowa rivers and streams are stocked up with trout now, coming up next. Despite today's rain, shoppers and vendors alike were out at the first farmers market of 2021. After COVID-19 shortened last year's market season, fans of the farmers market will see fewer COVID-19 restrictions, and people can expect more vendors as the season continues.
We focus on small businesses, so if you make it, grow it, sow it, produce it, then you can sell it here at the market, and that's, we're going to continue that through this year too.
The farmers market is Wednesday and Saturdays between 8 in the morning and 1 p.m. It ends on October 30th.
Well, officials with Iowa's Department of Natural Resources say they're already working hard getting set for the summer fishing season.
This section of stream, I believe, is the most heavily fished section of mile of stream in the state.
Wow.
Yeah, so it gets a lot of angler pressure. That's why we put so many in here.
Again, that's near Delaware County here in Iowa. The DNR telling us that they're stocking Iowa's 500 miles of trout streams this year. A year ago, the pandemic forced many of us to change our recreation plans, and as a result, Iowans bought more fishing licenses and trout stamps than ever before. That gave a boost to local economies for sure. In fact, to the tune of $33.5 million. It also reminded us that Iowa is home to crystal clear trout streams and their cold water loving inhabitants.
Rainbow trout are easy to raise. They grow fast, they don't get sick, and they've been raised in hatchery settings like this for over 100 years.
In 2020, the Iowa DNR sold 55,000 trout stamps, which is 25% more than they did just a year before. Had to do something outside.
That's right, and it's naturally socially distanced,
That's
so
right.
Why not? Well, switching gears just a bit, fishing's a sport. KCAU Sports Director Jake Jones is in the house, but you weren't fishing today.
No, but I got wet enough that I felt like I was. It was day one of the GPAC softball tournament in between all the sprinkles, and maybe not so much sprinkles. The Mustangs looking to beat the rain and their opponents. I've got game one highlights coming up next in sports.